Folks, the only thing worth watching last night was President Trump speaking directly to the American people. Here's his stark warning to the United Auto Workers. Watch.
What they're doing to the auto industry in Michigan and throughout the country is absolutely horrible and ridiculous. Hundreds of thousands of American jobs, your jobs, will be gone forever because crooked Joe Biden is selling out. But I don't think it's him. I don't think he actually knows what the hell he's doing.
No truer words. Joining me now to discuss this and much more is CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, former California Congressman Devin Nunes. Congressman, great to see you. Unlike the debate on the Karl Rove Never Trump network, Trump's main focus was the harm being done to the working class Americans by Democrat elites led by Joe Biden in Washington. To wit, a vote for Joe Biden would put all of those auto workers out of business if the Democrats' toxic green energy plan goes through. Is the union vote, like the minority vote, up for grabs after Biden's Democrat dumpster fire first term?
Well, it definitely is, and it has been. This is classic Trump. For all the criticism that the fake news and the Never Trump Republicans give to Donald Trump, they forget that he has cared so much about these jobs that have been leaving overseas. It really bothers him, Chris. I mean, I remember this back when he was campaigning back in 2016, actually coming to my district back in 2016, and talking about the buildings that were shuttered, the decaying buildings across the Rust Belt, and why those jobs had all went to China and other places around the world. This is something that it's right in Donald Trump's wheelhouse. He cares deeply about these jobs, and he has for a very, very long time. And I think probably of all the things that Donald Trump, that he'll be known for throughout history, he's the one who actually took on China, did something about it. And he cares about it, and I think it resonates with people in those states, which is why he won them in 2016, and he came very close, even with all the shenanigans in 2020, and it's why he's going to spend a lot of time there and I think win those states next time.
Growing fallout in the meantime over this second GOP debate after it turned into a full-on Trump hate fest. Candidates bickering endlessly as the Karl Rove Never Trump network lost complete control, I'm told. Observers are noting how Fox never even asked any of these candidates, hey, can you name a policy that Trump implemented that you disagree with, and what's your big idea? Nor did the Never Trump network focus on the debate, any of the debate, on all the harm being done by our people, or to our people, by Joe Biden and his party. Do you think this was another missed opportunity by the RNC, Congressman?
Well, look, I think, first of all, many of those candidates shouldn't be up there at all. They're never going to be president. They're not even really running for president. Some bought their way on stage. Some are there just to attack Trump. So, look, that regardless, I think Trump made the right decision of not going to the debates and should not lower himself to that level to participate. But you asked me, what do I think the most important issue is? And Congressman Gooden, a good friend of mine, he talked about the border, but I think the border is actually, and he's from Texas, so maybe it impacts him more. I actually think that's the number 2 issue. I think the number 1 issue in this country is this 2-tier Department of Justice that I've talked about many times on your show. That question was not asked at all last night. And that is, to me, it's just unexplainable. I mean, you've got these wacko decisions. You've got 4 multiple indictments against Trump. And I've said this, everybody that wants to run for president, anybody who's serving in the United States Senate and the United States House should be calling out the Department of Justice. They all should know this, Chris. Like, look, I know because I was there. I realized that I dealt with the Russia hoax and the Ukraine impeachment hoax and the corruption at DOJ for many, many years. But they have heard me. They've heard many of my colleagues. They've heard former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe, former Congressman Trey Gowdy. All of us are saying the same damn thing, that if they don't get a hold of this corrupt FBI and Department of Justice, we don't have a country left.
No truer words. I know you've been harping on this, and you're absolutely right. It is institutionalized unfairness, institutionalized benefit for the Democrat Party over conservatives, and you might as well turn it in. If there's no fair justice in this country, it's not America anymore. Last thing, 2 days away, as you know, from a partial government shutdown, President Trump says conservatives should hold their ground, saying, hey, unless you get everything you want, shut it down. Congressman, what would be wrong, say, because we're talking about a 30-day stopgap, right? What would be wrong for the next 30 days, keeping the government at current spending levels, but let's say denying funding to one of the biggest abusers of our people? Let's say the two top issues you and I have just been discussing. Maybe you deny funding for all the illegal immigration importation, or maybe you deny funding for the FBI or for all of their targeting of conservatives and the silencing of free speech. And then you work on the 12 appropriations bills and then getting us back to 2020 spending levels. What do you think about that idea?
Look, I think as long as the Republicans are on message that they can do short gap funding mechanisms, these CRs, whether it's 2 weeks or 4 weeks, it doesn't matter. But they've got to all be on the message that you and I have talked about. As a matter of fact, I mentioned this last week on the show. The two most important issues at the highest level are clear. They're clear. You heard myself and Congressman Gooden just talk about it. You've got the border issue and you've got the corruption at the Department of Justice and all throughout the Biden administration. So, look, the Republicans should not be playing games with shutting down the government, but they should not give in and fully fund the government for a whole year. They should keep these issues front and center. And when they're asked, why have you not funded the government for the year? It's really simple. We have a corrupt Department of Justice and an FBI and the Biden administration's involvement, and we have millions of people who come in across the border.
Yeah, and get a deliverable, get something concrete that okay, I'll trade you a little bit of spending, but you're going to have to comport with the law. You're going to have some accountability, and I think if they can deliver that, they're in good shape. Congressman Nunes, always a pleasure talking to you, sir. Come back soon.